The title of this book is Planets by Jennifer Dussling. Long ago in Greece, people looked at the night sky. They saw the moon, they saw bright stars. They also saw other objects that moved across the sky. They called them planetes. In Greek, that means wanderer. That's where we got the word planet. We live on the planet called Earth. Earth circles the sun, so do 8 other planets. The sun and the 9 planets are called the solar system. For a long time, people thought that the sun circled Earth. One man said that was wrong. His name was Copernicus. In 1513, he had a new idea. He said that Earth circled the sun. He wrote a book about it. The book did not come out until 30 years later. Most people thought that his idea was crazy, but Copernicus was right. The sun is the center of the solar system. Each planet has its own path around the sun. The paths are not really circles. They are more like ovals. The paths are called orbits. The time it takes for a planet to travel around the sun is a year. An Earth year is 365 days. Planets also spin. A day is the time it takes for a planet to make a complete spin. On Earth, a day is 24 hours long. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. It circles the sun in 88 days. So on Mercury, a year is only 88 days long. How old are you in Mercury years? Mercury is a small planet with craters and cliffs. It has no moons. Mercury gets very hot during the day and very cold at night. The next planet is Venus. You can see it in the morning sky. It looks white and beautiful. Long ago, Romans named the planet after their gods. We still use the Roman names. Mercury was the messenger of the gods. Venus was the goddess of beauty. Mars was the god of war. Venus is the hottest planet. The temperature on Venus is 900 degrees Fahrenheit. That is much hotter than an oven. Why is Venus hotter than Mercury? After all, Mercury is closer to the sun. It is hotter because Venus is covered with thick yellow clouds. They keep in the heat like a blanket. Earth is the 3rd planet from the sun. Earth is the only planet with life on it, people, animals, and plants. It is in the perfect place, not too close to the sun and not too far away. On Earth, we have plenty of water. Without water, there can be no life. Earth also has a thin layer of gases around it. This is the air we breathe. These gases also block out harmful lights from the sun. The planet after Earth is Mars. Mars has dusty red soil. The red dust in the air makes the sky look pink. Sometimes Mars has dust storms that last for months. Can you guess why the red planet was named after the war god? It is because red is the color of blood. There are lots of stories about little green men from Mars. They are not true. But at one time, maybe there was some kind of life on Mars. In 1996, a little rock made big news. Scientists found the rock in Antarctica. Long ago, it had fallen from Mars. The rock had a fossil in it, a fossil of tiny cells. Because of this, some scientists think that there may have been some kind of life on Mars. Mars also has ice caps and channels that may have carried water. Why is that so important? Because all living things need water. So sometimes scientists think that maybe people could live on Mars. Maybe someday in the future, we will build a city there. Between Mars and Jupiter is a belt of asteroids. Asteroids are chunks of rock and metal. They also circle the sun. Some of the asteroids are as small as a football. Others are larger than a house. Many people think they are pieces of moon that broke apart long ago. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the sun. Jupiter is huge. It is the largest planet in the solar system. It is much larger than Earth. Think of Jupiter and Earth like this. If Earth were the size of a pea, Jupiter would be the size of an orange. Jupiter doesn't look at all like Mercury, Venus, Earth, or Mars. Jupiter is made mostly of gas, not rock. So are the next 3 planets, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Jupiter is a stormy place. See the red circle on Jupiter? That is called the Great Red Spot. It is like a super hurricane. Strong winds blow. Lightning bolts crack through the clouds. This storm has been raging for hundreds of years. Earth is not the only planet with a moon. Jupiter has at least 16. How is the moon different from a planet? A moon orbits a planet. It does not orbit the sun. Beyond Jupiter is Saturn. In 1610, a man named Galileo first looked at Saturn through a telescope. He was very surprised there was a bump on either side of the planet. Saturn had ears! Can you guess what Galileo saw? Galileo's ears are Saturn's rings. There are hundreds of rings. The rings are made of bits of ice and rock. They line up like ripples, one right next to one another. For hundreds of years, people thought that Saturn was the only planet with rings around it. But it's not. Uranus, the seventh planet, does too. Its rings are made of chunks of black rocks. Uranus is a tippy planet. It lies on its side. Scientists used to think Uranus had 5 moons, but a space probe passed Uranus in 1986. It was called Voyager 2. A space probe is a spaceship with no people in it. Inside are cameras. The cameras on Voyager 2 took lots of pictures and sent them to Earth. The pictures showed many more moons near Uranus. They also showed that Uranus had rings. Neptune was the god of the sea. He could whip up storms on the water. So Neptune is a good name for the next planet. It is blue-green, and it has the fastest winds on any planet. They can reach 700 miles an hour. Neptune sometimes has a spot, the green dark spot. It is another huge storm. The planet Pluto was not found until 1930. It is a small planet. It is very cold. That is because it is so far from the sun. It takes Pluto 248 years to travel once around the sun. Pluto has a very strange orbit. For 20 years out of the 248, Pluto travels inside Neptune's orbit. During that time, Neptune becomes the farthest planet from the sun. Because it is so small and has a crazy orbit, some scientists think that Pluto was once a moon of Neptune, but somehow it went on into its own orbit. So, is Pluto really a planet? Some scientists don't think so. They want to drop Pluto from the list of planets. Then the solar system will only have 8 planets. But other scientists think that Pluto is a planet. For now, Pluto is still listed as a planet. What is out there past Pluto? Lots and lots of stars. Lots of other solar systems. We sent probes past Pluto. They are headed to the faraway stars. Who knows what they will find?